Hey, Nathan.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I was just looking at the cut article that I was supposed to read for today's subject, and that I didn't. As if by talking to you and reading at the same time, I can catch up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so today we're going to talk about Caroline Calloway.
Caroline is petty, privileged, unlikable. She lies to you in the book and then tells you that she lied to you and then proceeds to go on to regale you with feats of such audacity that they have to be true, because who could make this up? Like, did you know that she straight up lied on her application to Cambridge? She photoshopped her application materials to show better grades than she actually had.
A blast from the
And-
past.
I just feel like she's been such a hot mess for such a long time
Yeah.
that
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that you could go reacquaint yourself with or
Mhm.
even update yourself on now.
Yeah.
Apparently, last night she did a poetry reading
What?
with Whoa Vicky.
No fucking
Yeah.
shit. You have to be
So
kidding me.
I
Can
think
we
we
see
should
this?
watch. Yeah.
Scrolling through my feed, all I see is bullshit. Fake news, clickbait, gotta sift through all of it. Oh. Like share, retweet, trying to keep up with the trends, but it's all just a facade, man, it's all pretend. Online bullshit, that's all it is. You say you're living large, but I know it's just a myth. Online bullshit, can't you see? We're all caught up in the nonsense, it's time to break free.
Yeah. Do we need to go into a little bit of background just first about Caroline before we play anything?
Yeah. So tell me
Okay.
what you know about her.
Okay, so I know Caroline, she had a heavy Instagram following, am I correct? About her adventures as not an exchange student, but like a UK art history student
At Cambridge.
at
Yeah.
Cambridge, yeah. And then it
And
was like,
she had a love story too.
yeah,
With
I
a
remember
guy
that,
named
yes.
Oscar. So
Yeah.
then when she started presenting that to the world on her Instagram, then that's what helped her get a book deal.
Yeah.
Like she was so young, just graduated college and was gonna
Mhm.
write a memoir, and she got a big book advance.
Yeah.
But then we started to learn more about her from her Instagram because she never followed through with the book deal. And then
Yeah.
she started to say, it's because the book deal was misogynistic. And it's like, yeah, because people wanted more about your love story because that's what you put out there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That
And-
was your choice.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I was thinking, and you could tell me. It seemed like, just to give a little bit of color of the time, what it was 2019
19, yeah.
is when the cut article came out. And
Yeah.
it was kind of people didn't know what to do with the internet, or even what's an influencer? Can we call Caroline Calloway an influencer? It was I feel like people were just throwing opportunities at these people and being like, let's see what hits, because apparently she has a lot of attention and an audience, you know?
Well, I guess it's over the years, that's how they'll cast movies too. Because if you have more Instagram followers, then there's less, there's more people that you can advertise to. So
Mhm.
it's more likely that your movie will succeed. Even though that's never been true, just make a
Yeah.
good movie. And so they try to do these things to try to make sure that they don't lose money on stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's added to it. I think that's how she got that book deal.
Yeah.
Because she
yeah.
had acquired all these Instagram followers. I don't know where we were at in 2019 with influencers, but then because she went viral again. There's an
Mhm.
article in BuzzFeed News called "Who is Caroline Calloway?
Oh, yes,
And why
yes.
is everyone talking about her? Let us
Huh?
explain." And that
Yeah.
was September 2019 because she came back to the internet
Mhm.
after not fulfilling the book, saying she's going to offer these creativity workshops, and she sold a ton of tickets.
Can I
and
just
then-
stop you here? Only because
Yeah.
says so much about Caroline Calloway that she cannot finish a book, a creative project, her first big creative project, And now she's like, she immediately goes into like, but I can do creativity workshops. It's like, you've shown no creativity or ability to follow through on a creative project. It shows her like fundamental issues, I think.
Well, that's why then I remember this is when the Firefest documentary came out, and they were like,
Oh, I
hey, if
remember
you're
that.
interested in scammers,
Uh-huh.
now you can read all about Caroline Calloway, which was
Yeah,
really funny because this is how she came onto my radar. Like, because she was being a scammer, that's how I found her.
Oh, me
And
too. Yeah.
yeah. And it was like, I don't know, Homegirl didn't seem like she just seemed to not be able to get her shit together, you know?
Everything is just like it's just a litany of incompetence with her. It's not like, definitely she's got some like, she's very self-centered, I will say. I don't want to use the narcissist word because I feel like it's overused and I don't think it applies with her necessarily. But
Hmm.
yeah, she just like, she fucked up everything. She couldn't get it together to do this creativity workshop, and then she like at some point did a workshop, but she had to do it in New York City, and people in Philadelphia were like, "Oh, we thought it was supposed to be in Philadelphia." And she's like, "Yeah, just come up to New York City." It's just fucking insane. Like, she could not organize shit.
Yeah, and she had
Yeah.
promised, like, we're going to eat salad out of mason jars. So then, like, when she
Yeah.
ordered a pallet of mason jars
Yeah.
and they showed up to her apartment, like, she documents everything on her Instagram stories. And she was like, I sort of didn't realize how many mason jars that was and how they
Yeah.
wouldn't fit in my apartment.
Uh-huh.
And
And I will say this, she had a huge fucking apartment in the Village, right?
I thought so, yeah. I think
was
it might have
gorgeous.
just been a studio, but like the room was really big, and then she had a little kitchen and bathroom coming off of it.
Yeah. And she had a ton of like beautiful, huge plants, and it was very like, it was very aspirational hippie, I would say.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what she comes from.
She always presented as a rich girl.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then
Absolutely.
she would tell these stories to be like, just so you know, I'm not rich.
Yeah.
Like, I was never rich. And it's like,
Mhm.
so then when Natalie was her best friend here, they're in this post together.
Oh, I see.
But
Yeah.
Natalie was her best friend, and then when they stopped being friends, she came out and was like, I was writing most of the Instagram that helped Caroline get the book deal.
Yeah. And they met in a writing workshop.
Yeah, and Caroline had a
Yeah.
really bad Adderall addiction where she would just take a million Adderalls at once. Which just seems like a really bad idea. Like, I don't understand.
It does. It does. It seems
I
like
don't
a real
understand
bad
what would be
idea.
fun about that. I don't think it would be. It would be
It's
really
probably,
a bad time.
well, it's probably like the buildup of a tolerance.
Yeah, maybe. So let's jump over to this cut article,
Okay.
which is titled, I Was Caroline Calloway. 7 years after I met the infamous Instagram star, I'm ready to tell my side of the story.
I didn't 7 years. I didn't realize it was that long.
Well, this is 2019, right? And so I guess
Yeah.
in this article, the first post on Caroline's Instagram is 2012.
Yeah.
She's
It's
like,
just
you
like,
guys,
yeah.
my first Instagram.
Mm.
In the beginning, there was a gala at the Met on the first day. The party planner said, let there be a shit ton of votive candles. And it was so. I took my picture, discovered the Hudson filter, and then I saw that it was good.
What?
Her first Instagram is like
Oh.
the beginning of the Bible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See,
Good,
here, look
good
at
for
this.
her.
Look
Yeah.
at this.
I mean, I don't know how do we know what she came from besides what she claims? Because, I mean, I don't believe a word she says.
Well, I have followed her snark sub for years, which is called Small Bean Snark.
Okay.
And they say that, like, she grew up in Virginia, or, like, that's where her dad died. Yeah, Calloway is 27, grew up in Virginia. She describes herself as a dramatic child who at 17 changed her legal name from Caroline Gottschall to Caroline Calloway,
Mhm.
her middle name, because she said she thought Calloway will look better on book covers someday.
Yeah. Okay, so we know that from a very young age she wanted to be a writer.
And then
So she had
she
interest in it.
went to NYU, which, I mean, unless you get some kind of scholarship, is a crazy expensive place to go.
Oh, it's
And it
insane. Yeah.
sounded like, especially from the Snark sub, she didn't really think about the cost of it, and her parents paid for it, even if maybe it was outside of their what would be a reasonable amount for someone in their income bracket to be paying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then she spent a few years applying to go to Cambridge. Like, she got rejected a couple of times, and
Mhm.
then she finally got in. And, like, she wound up being in college for more than 4 years, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then she went to Cambridge, and I'm pretty sure she let Natalie stay in her apartment in New York. And
Mhm.
she made it seem like Natalie was gonna just be the house sitter and get to stay there for free. But
Yeah.
then after a while, Caroline was like, I actually can't, like, let you stay there for free.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna scroll down and find that in this article, okay?
Okay. Yeah. She's constantly over-promising and under-delivering.
Yeah. Okay, she says, a year after Caroline and I met, the world was introduced to Caroline Calloway, the influencer. That spring, at the end of my semester abroad in London, Caroline flew out to travel to Sicily with me. When she arrived, she told me she was getting more active on this new platform called Instagram. Apparently, she had posted a color wheel of macarons that had landed on the favorites page, and now she had 50,000 followers, mostly teen girls who wanted a life like hers. Caroline had always been obsessive and confident, but Instagram focused those qualities like sunlight through a magnifying glass.
Yeah, it was like she was kind of like the OG like Instagram or real life kind of thing. Because apparently she's very invested in like fancy shit,
Yeah.
the arts and macarons and flower crowns and all this shit. But like at the end of the day she seems to be living way beyond her means in like who she reminds me of?
Who?
What's her face? Anna Delvey. Like a little bit. She's got an
Which
Anna
is
Delvey
funny
vibe.
because she is constantly like, I mean, I'm not Anna Delvey
Yeah,
because people
you're
called
not
her a
that far.
scammer. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, because you didn't dream big enough.
exactly. It's like you're just
Yeah.
a lazy Anna Delvey, Caroline.
I never felt better than when viewed through Caroline's eyes, but a year later I came across the journal I'd kept on the trip and realized how bitter I'd been. Quote, I found myself wishing something bad would happen, a humiliation like the one I feel always, I had written. There has to be a price for getting everything you want, for never being embarrassed. It read like a tantrum. I'm beginning to feel like a child or an unpaid intern, I wrote, both of which I had recently never wanted to be again.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like an abusive relationship. Because
Well,
she's,
they decided to work on the
Mhm.
Instagram together. And so then she details here her account was called Adventuregrams. Quote, you can have an adventure anywhere if you're curious, she told me as I took pictures of her balancing on a stone wall. That's what the brand is about. It doesn't matter where you live or how much money you have. And then she says, but I was the one who was actually there, standing right next to her, and already I was beginning to feel invisible. I, meanwhile, was deputized as the photographer, instructed to find her best angles and keep my shadow out of the frame. After she posted the photo, she would hold her phone in her palm and watch as the comments rolled in, responding to each one. She was building a second version of herself in front of me.
God,
Yes.
this girl is so fucked up. She really, like, even looking back on it, I'm like, wow, you got some real problems. And also, like, the author, like, don't be such a simp. She's, like, so clearly treating you badly. you know?
Oh, I know. That's the thing
Yeah.
about this article that people debate is like, well, Natalie, were
Uh-huh.
you ever gonna stand up for yourself? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. The fact that she's just like, you're working for free to spend an entire day with this girl, like helping her get money and attention, or maybe just at this point, attention. I don't know, like what the, what the monetization options were on Instagram at this time, but you are like helping her develop a platform and getting absolutely nothing for it.
Okay, but I remember this part where they missed their flight,
Uh-huh.
and Natalie's kind of like, she says, the trip had bigger problems. As we tried to make our way out of Italy, we missed 3 non refundable flights because of bad wind. I was now officially broke and didn't know how I'd afford to get home. Caroline
What?
saved the day.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't make sense to miss flights because of bad wind.
Well, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't rebook you on another flight. You had to they decided to
The
cancel the
problem with
flight.
the airline.
Yeah, and you had to like buy more tickets because they couldn't do it? That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's weird.
Caroline saved the day. She spoke the language, pretty cried in front of airport staff, and sat cross-legged on the floor of the Milan airport with her parents' credit cards fanned in front of her.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay you back, I said. These flights cost more than my rent. She waved off my concerns and we parted ways. Me back to my parents' house in New Haven, Caroline on to her next adventure in Venice.
Don't tell me she doesn't have money or her parents don't have money. Come on now.
Well, I think the story has been Caroline's parents give her too much money. And then in real life they aren't probably as rich as you would assume based on how Caroline spends money.
So she's incredibly spoiled. That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it sounds like she waved her off, but then Natalie was working off the $800 she owed Caroline after that.
Yeah, but didn't she just say like there was no turn where Caroline says, "Oh, by the way, I need you to pay me back." It's just Caroline she waved it off. I'm assuming that just meant like I'll pay for it or my parents will pay for it.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't. It just says, I was the one who offered to spend the summer editing Caroline's Instagram posts to pay her back. So it seems like Caroline did not demand that she do that. But she says,
okay. So it was Natalie's sort of like guilt or whatever that made her want to pay her back.
yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to like, I know you have to like edit these articles down to like the nubbin, but sometimes it's like we're missing information, and that's what like I tend to like get obsessed about.
Yeah. So it's not really clear to me why she feels like she owes her this, but she's busting her butt and working
It's
at some
clear to
kind of
me.
recycling plant for
Yeah.
$10 an hour.
Yeah, it feels clear to me because what I'm seeing is that Caroline is love bombing Natalie, and like Natalie does have like a lot of resentment that she's not expressing, but I think like
Yeah.
that's Caroline's manipulating her into like doing, you're so beautiful. I love you. You're so talented. It's like, I need you. I need you. I need you. You're the only one who can do this for me. It's like, obviously, Natalie is being
Yeah.
heavily manipulated by Caroline.
Yeah, so now, okay, she returns to NYU for the final semester. That's Natalie. And Caroline goes to Cambridge for her first semester.
Okay.
She always claimed she couldn't bear to go through life with an NYU alumni email address.
This girl is such a fucking, like, can I say something really bad?
Yeah.
Caroline Calloway is a pretentious twat, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. I just want to make sure we're all at the same place.
Yeah, so then Natalie says things in her Gowanus apartment deteriorated. My roommate still wasn't paying the rent. Well, that's okay. So Natalie just gets walked all over by everybody.
She really does.
Yeah.
My God.
So then she says Caroline's West Village studio was sitting unoccupied, so I asked if I could sublet it for a few months for a reduced rate in exchange for working on captions. Caroline agreed, but a week before I was supposed to move in, she called with a change of plans. Something about the value of gold having dropped and her family being low on money. Now she had to rent the apartment on Airbnb and needed me as the super.
Oh my God.
Greet the guests, clean the bedding. She would pay me $200 a week, which she assured me would be more than enough to rent some other place.
She's literally Timu Anna Delvey. She is Timu Anna Delvey. I can't stand this.
Well, can you believe that she was leaving it unoccupied, and then once Natalie said, "Hey, I have an idea. I'll sublet it from you," then she says, "I'm going to sublet it for a lot of money."
Yeah. Because she's an opportunist.
Yeah.
She's a disorganized opportunist.
Well, and I remember this part. The first day she's on the job, she goes into the studio to tidy up. There was a bag of months-old trash on the kitchen floor, and Caroline's white comforter was stained. I balled the comforter up, stuffed it under the bed, and sank to the ground. The night before, I had been on a date with an older man. He bought me a few drinks and took me back to his place in Bay Ridge, where he called me a whore and hit and choked me in bed.
I'm having such memories.
I can't remember this story being this crazy, but do you remember when this story came out that like two people tried to buy the rights to it? It was like Ryan Murphy and Lena Dunham. Fact check. This is a rumor that Caroline started herself and cannot actually be corroborated by facts. But go off, Queen. And I guess it's never been made because we haven't seen it.
Or unless it like went into like a different form and that was unrecognizable from the I don't think so either. Yeah. But where he called me a whore and hit and choked me in bed. I'm like, oh, memories. New York City.
Oh, yeah, did that happen to you?
Oh, yeah. But obviously for her it's an issue. For me it wasn't. But so I respect that.
And then she says, that morning on the way to Caroline's, he texted, "I hope your chest isn't still sticky." Ugh. Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. Ew. It was only the second time I'd had sex. Jesus. Natalie. Yeah. Boundaries, Natalie. Come on. I mean, also, she's very young. I have to, like, have some grace for that.
If I were more like Caroline, I thought, more beautiful and fun. If I radiated girlishness, then men would view me as someone worthy of care. I would have my own midnight adventures with Italian gentlemen. My life so enviable that my only job would be living it to its fullest. And then she says the next day over Skype, "Caroline, I don't want to be your maid. I'm sorry, I can't help you out, but can you ask someone else?"
Yeah.
"Oh no, Natalie, I would," she said, her new boyfriend sitting supportively next to her. "It's just you're the only one of my friends who needs the money badly enough to take the job."
That's an insane thing to say to a human being.
But I've had friendships like this where I'm the Natalie.
Oh, yeah. No, here's the thing. Like, I've never been the Natalie. I don't have the patience for all. I don't have the patience for Caroline Calloway. I'm sorry. The first second, like seeing her in that flower crown tells me everything I need to know, and I know that we're not going to be friends.
No, that's funny. I think it's like I was gonna say Nathan is a Caroline and Katie is a Natalie.
Yeah,
but you're not really a Caroline, are you?
No. I'm not a Caroline and I'm not a Natalie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess she goes back and moves in with her parents, and her mom says, "That Caroline girl is bad news."
Yeah.
While I struggled to find another job and stewed over how I'd been treated, she continued to post daily from Cambridge without my help, growing her fan base internationally and making new posh friends. I submitted captions we wrote together as work samples to corporate social media positions, but never heard back.
Yeah, so she's not even getting like the opportunities she thought she would get from working for free.
No.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I would think if you're like the ghostwriter for like an immensely popular blog, like shouldn't that or Instagram account, like shouldn't you just be like in like Flynn? I feel like, you know.
I don't know, because as you were saying, like this, then it becomes 2015. And
Mhm.
I don't know if people were like even understood what was going on social media, because whenever you try to get a job somewhere, whoever's in charge is behind on whatever the trends are, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely.
I just know that like this article came out after Caroline was already called a scammer because of those
Mhm.
creativity workshops that she couldn't
Yeah.
follow through on. Then Caroline had a huge crash out online about this whole article that Natalie wrote.
Yeah.
Then she finally wrote her book, Scammer, and she
Oh
was
yeah.
doing pre-orders. And then it
Yeah.
finally came out. And it's so funny because in it, she says that she had like a lesbian crush on Natalie. Did you know she said that?
No, I did you read the book?
I'm sure I listened to a podcast about the book.
It wasn't like I didn't know lesbianism was an option. I was just so bi, it made me complacent.
Rearranging the internal architecture of my identity called the way I felt towards women crushes deflated me with effort. Autopilot was easier.
I am not in any way questioning her sexuality. I think that if she is bi, good for her. But I really find it off-putting the way she sexualizes her roommate in this way to like introduce her bisexuality.
And then she goes, in the morning, she touched my cheek to wake me, told me it was time for class as if apologizing for both of us. She's married to a woman now. I think about them and hope they never break up. This was the first time in this book I got a genuine ick.
Same.
The way that she like centrals herself, whatever she is, it's very clear in this book that she is putting forth a new label on her sexuality in order to turn the tables on the Natalie Beach story.
Yes. And I really don't like that it's introduced with her roommate's bazungas.
And I don't like that that roommate is now a lesbian. I don't like that like Caroline's like, I hope they stay together for my sake. I don't like the way that she dehumanizes this woman. It all feels gross to me. She later says there's certain people that only need to be nouns in my life. The reporter, the journalist, the high school roommate.
That dehumanization to expound on her story as a bisexual feels really inappropriate.
Inappropriate. It feels gross. And it also feels exactly lined up with what she has market tested on her Instagram, because Natalie is a huge part of her story. And of course, she is literally a huge part of her story now that the Cut article had gone out there. But had it not been for that, the Cut article, would Natalie not just be the college friend? And I do feel that this is one of the insights into, I'm like, this is not your real memoir. This is not really the story.
I can't imagine it was a very good book.
No, and I think she sold it herself, which means whoever she got to ship it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was
Mhm.
still, it wasn't like ordering it on Amazon where you're going to get your order fulfilled or a refund.
Uh-huh.
Like, she's still scamming. Like, someone in the CC Suarez snark page, I guess CC made a video about Carolyn Calloway's redemption arc.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then someone ordered her book recently
Mhm.
and it still hasn't come. And they were in the CC Suarez sub being like,
Yeah.
CC made me lose $30, you know?
God, they're the gift that keeps on giving. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I was like, how dare CC?
I know, right?
And then I just wanted to show you what Caroline was doing recently, where she had a breakup and she did a whole bunch of TikToks.
Because you know who she's also reminding me of, just quickly? She's kind of like the original Danielle Walter in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like way more feral.
Yeah.
In a
Danielle
way, yeah.
Walter's like religious and like,
Danielle Walter is a control freak. And, I have to give it to Caroline Calloway. She's just like, do it now and ask questions later. And I'm not against that, but it's like, you gotta answer those questions someday, baby.
Yeah. Well, and God, there's all this lore though, because she was still living in New York City and then she was staying at her grandmother's condo in Florida for COVID,
Yeah.
And she got some cats and then she would like bring the cats out to bars with her because she's crazy. And
And she's stuck in manic pixie dream girl heaven,
yeah.
which is
And
like
then
no longer relevant by any means.
she went back to New York to her apartment where she had been painting like the floor. She painted the floor white. She
Yeah.
did a whole bunch of weird shit to her apartment, and then she finally was like, okay, I'm gonna move to Florida so I can save some money.
Jesus
And
Christ.
she tried to sublet her apartment to someone named Rachel Rabbit White or something like that. And then Rachel Rabbit White went online and was like, do you see how fucked up this place is? And like, I asked the landlord for help, and the landlord was like, this is an illegal sublet. No, you can't live here. I need to like take this over and fix it all up again. And then he sued her for $40,000 of back rent because she hadn't been paying it.
I'm sorry. It's just like shitty choice after shitty choice. Boom, 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 boom. All in a
Yeah.
row. This is like potential lol cow territory. If she was more famous, she would be a lol cow because she cannot do anything right.
Well, then she went on OnlyFans to make the
Oh my
money
God.
that she
Mhm.
needed. I mean, she was good at that, I think, because
Well,
she,
what did she do on OnlyFans? Was it like, full beef or just feet?
like, you think I know.
I-
She would dress like literary characters, and then she would like take her tits out, I think.
I mean, thank God for small mercies. At least she's taking her tits out.
So
oh my dear Lord.
now on 6/7, haha, 6/7,
Oh
she
hey.
posted the beginning of this like series about her breakup, which I just
Okay.
think was interesting because she sort of admits that she's never really had any steady income.
Yeah.
So she got into this relationship with this guy kind of because he had money, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, want to listen?
I'd love to.
Okay.
I want to get better at is coming on here and just talking. I feel like even though I've been online since the very first influencers were online, I never really made like straight to camera video talking, and so it's like a skill, a digital skill of mine that's like incredibly underdeveloped. But this breakup, I thought I would never get into a relationship like this. I always had really loving boyfriends. I mean, if you'll notice, there's never been a Caroline Calloway expose about someone like that I've ever dated coming forward. It's not because I haven't been a mess with them. It's just because I've picked really like kind people who really cared about me, and I really cared about them in return. And just like, listen, like
Do you think that's true?
I think she picked people she could walk all over, like Natalie. And
I was
that's her
thinking
version of kind.
by the time they break up, they're like, I don't want a single thing to do with her, because if you made some kind of expose about her, then she would exploit you all over the place too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
can't beat Caroline Calloway. Like she knows what to do, and she's got the street cred as a fucking internet person where yeah, she can make your life miserable even if nobody believes her.
Yeah. So if I broke up with her, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay.
there are lots of areas where my life is a mess. I don't have health insurance. My finances are in shambles. But like in the many pillars of life, in the many dimensions of life, like romance, it's one area where I sort of had my shit together. I picked good people. I didn't stick around with bad people. I really saw like liking me as like a pre-requirement for getting to date me, and I think that's such a healthy outlook. So it's like, how did I end up in an 8-month relationship with someone who so clearly just like didn't like me that much? And I want to share because I think it will be helpful. Because if it's helpful for even one person out there, that will mean a lot to me. Because I think the greatest magic I've ever encountered in this world is sort of that strange alchemy of when you take like the worst things that ever happened to you and you tell the story in a way that like means something for someone else. That's certainly like how I processed my father's suicide and still do. Like it.
Can we stop for a second? Oh, go
I
ahead.
was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say we forgot to talk about her father's suicide.
That I don't recall, so go for it.
It happened right around the time the Natalie story came out. Then she like what was in her Instagram stories being like, "Okay, so I just found out my dad died." And like someone found him in his house. So he had already been there for a few days like
Yeah.
decomposing. But it became such a thing for Caroline to go on and on about on her Instagram.
That's what made me want to pause.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like the fact that she brought up her father in this context. I'm just like, she seems to be like going for sympathy all the time in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just listen back? Can we just listen back to what she just said? I want to see if I can recapture the thought.
To me, because I think the greatest magic I've ever encountered in this world is sort of that strange alchemy of when you take like the worst things that ever happened to you and you tell the story in a way that like means something for someone else. That's certainly like how I processed my father's suicide and still do.
No, I remember what I wanted to say. It's because she's doing like the same kind of yoga babble where it's like I need to process and it's all about like, like making lemons out of lemonade and moving forward and learning your lessons, but it's like it's just such like it's more new age bullshit. She just says it in a way that is like a little bit more relatable and articulate. But I mean, it's nothing that I haven't heard before. And I don't know that much about her, but is it possible that the reason this relationship was so challenging is because she finally picked up somebody who wouldn't take her shit, and that to her is a bad relationship? I don't know.
Yeah, I think she goes into more detail about what was fucked up.
Oh, okay.
Later.
Well, we shall see. We shall see.
There's something so strangely beautiful and moving about that. So, let me start by saying that it was about money. And I think a lot of people will like balk at that or jump to conclusions. And so I hope you listen to what I'm about to say next. And I promise to be as honest in what I say next as I was honest and vulnerable in admitting that. It was about money, but let me start a different way. In those different areas of life that some of us have it together in and some of us have growth areas, I feel like, and you can be like born into having this area of your life together or not together. Like for finances, you can literally be born with money, or even like the family dimension of your life. You can be born with like really loving, joyful, tight-knit like family traditions, and like your Christmases can be so full of laughter. My Christmases are very quiet. I just wasn't born lucky that way. My grandparents are all dead. I'm an only child. My dad killed himself. It's just like me and my mom. And so you can be born really lucky with health. You could be born really unlucky with health. And yeah, some areas before I tell you about how I'm a bad adult, some areas of my life where I think I really have it together more than most adults is, I think, like sense of purpose. I think some people struggle finding that, and I feel so deeply connected to mine. And I feel lucky enough that my sense of purpose, it doesn't have to be your job, but like I'm lucky enough that my job connects me to that sense of purpose as an artist, as a storyteller.
What do you think her sense of purpose is?
Being on the internet first?
Yeah, it just seems like
know.
it's like, hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad you want to be here and watch me, and like that's my sense of purpose, and like you're welcome.
No, absolutely. I'm kind of struggling because I know I'm sort of like tearing her down a lot myself, but I'm like she seems really really self-centered, immature, but also it's just like is she growing? Is this just like she's growing slowly but she's not like irredeemable? Cuz otherwise it's just like she's just another yoga babble sort of like wannabe or quasi influencer who's using all of this language that all the other like wellness influencers use to manipulate other women. It's like a lexicon now. She might as well just say, I want to be really authentic. It's like, as soon as you say you're authentic, as soon as you say, like, I was being vulnerable, it's like, no, be vulnerable. Don't tell me that's what you were being, because now I don't believe it.
You think she's trying to trick other women?
Like, I think it's part of her general MO is to use the kind of language that she uses in order to, like, manipulate people into thinking she's a certain kind of person and giving her a lot of leeway.
Oh, I guess I'm like, I think everyone on the internet knows she's just full of shit. But maybe that's not true because everyone has fans.
Well, and also we got to remember, it's like, there's constantly new kids coming up and learning about things and like meeting Caroline's for the first time, and they have no background knowledge,
She used to sell artwork. Like she would make these copies of Matisse paintings and then sell them.
Yeah.
And now I really don't know how she's making any money. And she's like, this is my job. And I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe she is making some money.
Well, I mean, in terms of like her being a content creator on Instagram nowadays, it's like, I haven't heard shit about her. I feel like she's absolutely been crowded out, in
Well,
subsequent
she was
years.
in this relationship for 8 months where I don't think she was online.
Okay, all right. Well, then how's she making her money? If she's not like pumping out content like your normal influencer or content
She's
creator,
not. I think that's
so how's
the
she making
whole
her money?
thing.
Yeah, that's the
she's
question.
not. I think that's why she's here saying all of this now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Being the fullest embodiment of Caroline Calloway, I think I really have my shit together in terms of creative fulfillment.
Yes.
Like usually people get that from their hobbies. Once again, I get to do mine at my job, which is so nice. But I don't have my shit together financially. I don't have health insurance, as I said. I don't have a savings account. I'm 34 and I'm like living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't get a paycheck. It's like not dependable at all. And this brings me a lot of shame. And one area that my ex was underdeveloped in was romance. Oh yeah, romance is another area where I used to have it together. I mean, not anymore, but he had just, his only other time that he'd used the word girlfriend with someone was a girl that he'd met at 18. And they sort of dated on and off through college, but like, it was messy, and I was definitely like his first real adult relationship. And I sort of thought how perfect the part of his life where he really is like quite behind on normal adult development is though an area of my life where I have my shit together. And my area of life where I'm really quite behind for normal adult development is an area of his life that he has so under control, on a track to be a billionaire within the next couple, I don't know, within the decade. And I thought how great that the part of my life that brings me the most shame, light as a feather to this man. And I guess I just sort of thought that we could each teach each other how to get better in those areas. He could give me some financial stability so that I could take on a greater like emotional load for our relationship, in terms of like teaching him how to be a kind partner, teaching him how to like move through the world in that little like team of two. just how to make space for another person in your life. Um, and he could give me like breathing room financially by like, you know, place to live. He was like covering most of our food, like our Ubers, like all these little expenses that could help me start saving, get my shit together. And on top of that, I want to be really careful about like not going into detail on this and talking about it very, very broadly. For myself, I'll go into detail, but like he had a mother wound, I had a father wound. And I thought, how great. Maybe we can do things with each other that we maybe didn't get in our childhoods and make things right. So this is how I got into it. I'm running out of time, or like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired of talking. I feel like I've already said so much.
I was laughing because she was like, I just got so tired of talking.
Well, I gotta say, like, she definitely has like probably some kind of ADHD, because she doesn't have like a lot of executive function from what I've heard. You know? Yeah. That being said, I know I'm like insulting her a lot, but it's like she's very creative. Like, I will give that to her. But being a creative mind, I feel like it's like at some point you learn it's like you shouldn't be running shit. You're an idea lady, you know? You should
Oh,
not be
yeah.
trying to like create a business. That's not what you can do, you know?
Maybe she just doesn't know what she is creating. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm often in the very same place where she seems to be in, where it's like she's kind of like stalled by her inability to get started on any one thing, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Seeing the signs that something was changing. Also, I don't know if you can hear him
Aw,
over
pretty
the
kitty.
AC.
Aw.
Yes. Aw.
A lot of nice white noise ASMR going back on in the background here. In the very beginning of our courtship, he would say, repeat after me, I can have whatever I want. And he would hold my hands and I'd say it back to him. And I'd go, I can have whatever I want. And I don't think he was trying to trick me. Like, I don't think he knew that he didn't mean that. I think he was just excited to make me happy and like
I put it on 1.5.
Literally, you read my mind, because I was like, this is 10 fucking minutes.
I know.
make things feel limitless with him. I really, really, really cannot emphasize enough that I do not think this guy is like an emotional manipulator mastermind. I think this guy is someone who had to really be out for himself growing up, happened to be born into the body of like the apex predators of our world, which is like very strong white men. Like, he had sort of like a football player build. He knew how to fight. Like, he was, when I go out at night, I'm like watching for shadows on the sidewalk, like in street lamps, to see if someone's behind me. Like, I'm a prey animal. This guy was already an apex predator, and that was before he got all the money. Now that he's like a finance master of the universe type, like he's like untouchable. So I just don't think he had to like develop that kind of sensitivity or empathy. And maybe on top of that, he really likes to think of himself as this like brutish, like low, fine motor skills, retard is honestly the word he'd use. He likes to be rough around the edges. He likes to think of himself as like an idiot, but also the smartest person in the room, but like an idiot when it comes to like refinement and certainly emotions. And so I don't think he was trying to like trap me. I think he wanted to delight me. And where I should have been smarter is I should have noticed immediately, ideally immediately, but certainly after a few months, that it wasn't just like I couldn't have whatever I wanted, which is like too good to be true. It's like I couldn't even have whatever I needed. I couldn't even have whatever. Maybe I could have what I begged for. The only thing I could really have whatever whenever was if my ex wanted it. And this manifested itself in all sorts of ways where like his words were not lining up with his actions. A really easy one would be like when we first started going out. I love going to the theater, and if I had all the money in the world, I would go to the theater every night. It was something I did with my dad. In fact, when my parents got divorced, the way like his visitation time worked is my mom got full custody because he's a crazy person, but his visitations were like Sunday matinees, and we would just go to every theater in the DC area. So I would send him like plays that I like wanted to go to, and he just never wanted to go, except for this one time that we got a box at the opera. Like it just didn't matter what I wanted to do. Like it only really mattered what he also wanted to do. And I thought to myself, you know what? That's fine. It's his money. It's not your money to spend, Caroline. Like you shouldn't have taken him so seriously when he was all those times he was like, repeat after me. I can have whatever I want. Like it's on you for being so prone to fantasy, classic Caroline, just getting lost in La La Land, like no sense of money. Of course you should be choosing how the money is spent. But then it started to get more granular. Like I would say past the first 2 or 3 months, I never got to pick what we had for dinner ever again. And that may sound very small, but it is like a day in, day out thing. Like he was paying for meals. Like, I mean, I guess maybe I shouldn't have been allowed to have a say, but like, it just wouldn't matter what I wanted. Or if I like hated the thing that he was getting. And so I should have noticed that it wasn't just like whatever I wanted. It wasn't even just like whatever I kind of liked. It was also like whatever I really needed. Like, a few months in, I've like drained what little savings I had going into this relationship, flying myself to and from New York to see him, because I didn't want him to come visit me in Florida, because like, I just know he would have been so mean and rude about my house, and that itself should have been a red flag. But I'm coming to visit him. I'm coming to visit him in New York, and after a few trips that cost like the flight round trip is $500, then with Ubers, with even just getting like Wi-Fi on the plane, like you know, I can't drive, so I need an Uber on both ends. Like $700 a trip. It's just like I had to sit him down, and I was like, I cannot keep bankrolling our time together like this.
So she was still living in Florida, like in her grandma's condo, which I believe is in an old folks place. So it never really made sense why she was allowed to just live there without her grandma. Her grandma moved in with her mother. And so
Okay.
in this family, it seems like they're like, sure, Caroline, just take this apartment. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
all move out and you can move in.
Yeah.
And then she's like kind of a hoarder, you know? And then
Yeah.
now she's back in New York, but I don't understand. Like, I'm like, so you waited till you broke up to move back to New York?
You know what I think we have to do? We have to stop trying to make her actions make linear sense, because they just don't. Like, she doesn't. She's a very like whimsical person. I mean that honestly. I think she just like goes wherever the wind takes her, and she sort of like lives on a wing and a prayer, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she seems to like have some self-awareness of that and some regret. Like she definitely wishes she was better with money and making decisions and organizing things. I think like, you know, one thing I was thinking as we were going through this is like she does seem to have like some like regret, maybe learned a couple lessons from the past. At least she knows more about herself and what she is and is not capable of, which is good. You know, it's nice to see, you know,
Some
somebody with
self-awareness.
some self-awareness and some learning, because honestly, she is like more engaging to watch than any of these like relationship multi-part series TikTok people. Like I don't know how you feel about her, but
Like
like
Danielle Walter.
yeah, I could watch Caroline all day, honestly.
See, I
Yeah.
had tried to sit through this, and I did think it was interesting to see her be self-aware, but
Yeah.
I sat down a few times to try to watch this, and I've always been like, I'm just gonna watch it when I watch it with Nathan, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is fine, but I'm finding her like more engaging than I usually do with these people, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Can I
I
ask you a
wonder.
question? Oh, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, like, what do you think as because I've been like talking a lot because I just apparently have very strong feelings about her. But like, what do you think of this relationship she's in or was in?
It's so hard for me to picture because we just get these little snippets, you
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah.
I read on the Snark sub that she would say that he was fat. So
Okay.
I keep being like, wait, it just kind of seems like you're with him because he gives you more stability financially. That's what I
Which,
keep hearing.
yeah, this whole like, you know, I don't know how you feel about it, but this whole like, you know, he could learn from me, I could learn from him, and I'm like, you know, once me and Kale tried to teach me how to code,
Yeah.
and that was when I discovered that in relationships, I don't think you should have your spouse try to teach you anything. Cause it's just like for us, it like became like a really weird dynamic, you know, where it was like, I don't know. I don't know. It didn't work for me. It seems like she had a real pie in the sky idea of what this relationship could be.
I think everything that she's saying, like you said, is just really whimsical. Like, I was the creative one and I could teach him, and I'm like, girl, you weren't teaching him
Yeah.
anything. You guys just have different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're taking on emotional labor while he just pays for everything.
What emotional labor did she take on? Can you tell?
Well, in terms of him not being able to like identify his feelings, which she said, like I feel like
Oh.
she's has to be the one who's like, okay, how do you feel about that? And like to make him learn to articulate. Or so maybe she did teach him something, but make him learn to articulate his feelings.
Okay.
And maybe give him a little refinement about how he expresses himself. But then if like his only offering to the relationship is like, oh, I pay for everything and therefore like I have all the power, I can choose everything, if what she's saying is true, that does sound legitimately like a shitty dynamic for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up 100% of my net worth, and this would be this is like pennies to you. He even got in trouble around Christmas, almost got in trouble at his company. I'll just leave it at that. At his job, for like at the Christmas party, he like told some woman that works there, he's like, oh, so you're a fly out girl too, because she was in a long distance relationship. He was like, yeah, my girlfriend is a fly out girl, and like he'd say that, and it wouldn't make me feel great, but laughing at his jokes and keeping him in a good mood is the only way that I would ever see progress for the things that like I was trying to teach him and help him learn. And I'd really gotten it into my head that that was my duty. He was shouldering more of the financial burden, even though if I was like had really slowed down and thought about how the money was being spent, it wasn't being lavished upon me at all. In fact, the more time I spent there, and once he started paying for the flights, that was sort of the end of me going to like New York parties, because the first time I came, I went to like, I don't know, probably like 3 parties in a row or something. I just went out 3 nights in a row, and he was like, you're treating me like a hotel. And I should have said, I wish I'd said, I keep inviting you to these parties. I love going to these parties. I'm an artist. A lot of networking in my career does not happen during 9 to 5 corporate hours. Like, this is where we talk about ideas, where new projects are born, where you get inspired, where you find, God, I hate the first community, but like, and like, he doesn't need to come he has a job in the morning. He doesn't need to come out on like a Monday, but like maybe once. And at this point, it's like month 3, and he's like, I've hung out with his friends so many times. This man has not come to one thing that I've invited him to. So that's another red flag. But I sort of thought I should be taking on more of this emotional burden, and like this was my responsibility if I was going to be reaping the benefits of him taking on a greater financial burden. But then the domestic tasks started, and that is where it got even more complicated. And I'll continue this.
Okay, when I saw her say domestic stuff, I thought she was saying domestic violence.
That's what I was assuming.
She's saying domestic tasks. So I think she's going to be like, then he wanted me to do cleaning and cooking.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see.
We shall see, yeah.
Steph, I just want to point out something really quickly, because this is one of the major themes I want to warn other girls about, and for a lesson that it would just mean a lot. It's too late for me to never make this mistake, but maybe if you've never made this mistake, I can keep you from ever doing it even once. And trust me, once is even too many times. It's brutal. I knew that to make the most progress in terms of teaching him how to be a good partner, he needed to be in a good mood. And what do I mean by teaching him to be a good partner? And what do I mean by him being in a good mood? My first mistake is that the sort of things that I was teaching him to be a good partner about are so basic, I shouldn't have even tolerated it. But we make excuses for like men's sob stories and like their past and like the little boy that he was, and like, he never once really, I don't think that the way I thought about him in my head, I don't think he ever even came close to thinking about what I must have gone through growing up, how he could bend over backwards for me, how he could make things easier for me, where he should make excuses for me. The sort of things I had to teach him to be a good partner is like, I'm not even kidding you, a huge win for me was I taught him that when, especially because we were long distance, when I say I miss you, he can't leave me on red. You have to say I miss you back. And this was a big problem for him because he's like, I'm not a parrot. Do girls just want a parrot? And I was like, listen, I hear you, and I'm glad that you value honesty so much. But yeah, like, to lubricate like polite day-to-day companionship, there are certain things that like merit a call and response. Like, I miss you. Like, when I tell you good night, you can't just leave me on red. Like, you have to say good night too. He's like, but what if I don't want you to have a good night? What if I don't miss you? And I was like, okay, heathen. You actually just have to say it back. And this is like a non-negotiable. And this is like the most basic of basics. Yeah, but you would even tell him, like, if I send you a nude, it was like, you have to heart it. You can't just like leave it on red. This is crazy behavior. So like, but in order for him to get this, he could not be angry or scowling or mad at me for whatever reason. And so what did it mean to keep him in a good mood? This meant anytime he wanted to have sex, it was available. I probably told this man I didn't feel like having sex. I could count on one hand the amount of times I said no in 8 months. I was his available, good time girl. It meant laughing at all his jokes. And most insidiously, it meant always validating his ego and his sense of reality. So like, he had stories about himself that he liked to, we all have stories about ourselves that we like to tell ourselves.
I just want to be like, congratulations, Caroline, you're dating a man.
I know. I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
but I don't, it's hard because we're not getting any good stories about him. So it is like, girl, what are you doing? Why are you in this relationship?
Yeah. And
But that's what happens when people break up. And this is probably what we wanted KW Bogan to do.
yeah. But also, it's like, why are you dating him? It's like, you know, part of the reason why you're dating who I'm assuming is like an inveterate finance douchebag, because that's what he sounds like. This is what happens when you date somebody for money, or at least partially for money.
Yeah.
You know, you have to like kowtow to his little tiny moods all the time because you're constantly afraid of like, honestly, like losing your financial position in the world. And if you have no savings, you have no health insurance, it's like, this is a fucked up toxic dynamic just by the nature of your financial dependence on this guy who, you know, just doesn't seem to be great.
No.
You know? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It's sad.
Oh, someone wrote, how old is he? And she said 31. I was picturing like a 45-year-old.
Oh, I was going to ask you, how old is she at this point?
34. She just said it.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Okay, so yeah, age appropriate. I could see that he's young though, because he sounds like a young guy who hasn't like had to like have a lot of
girlfriends
issues with, well, yeah, and issues with the way he like talks in public, because he's probably cute, he's got a lot of money, he doesn't have to worry, but
yeah,
maybe someday he will learn to fucking be a human being to people.
Right.
And not call that honesty, you know, because that's always a cop-out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's at work saying, you're a fly-out girl to some other girl. It's like...
Yeah, that reminded me of like Alex Cooper, like the early days of Call Her Daddy.
Yeah.
Where she was talking about like dating sports guys. And she was like, like, you could have called her a fly out girl, right? Because they would just like fly her in to like, you know, take her out, have sex with her. And that's basically what he's calling her. You know, it's not a nice thing to say about your partner.
No,
It's
which is why it's like, don't say that to someone at work. You know, you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, and that's not honesty. That's just being mean. And also the thing about like her wanting to be like, you know, just like tell me good night or whatever. It's like, I don't think that's too much to ask in terms of being in a relationship. It's like, okay, I know you don't want to do it, but this is something that is important to me. Will you please do it? And he's like, not budging, because he doesn't have to, because he holds the purse strings. That's why you don't get yourself in this situation, Caroline.
Yeah. Because you'll be this.
And the one time he did meet my friends were like, your new boyfriend is so freaky and weird. In fact, I don't know, maybe later I'll put in some text messages if I want him to get into like looks and appearances. I need to think about if that's like, if I can even talk about it delicately enough to do it in a way that is humane. I mean, it's such a major part of the story. But, and to be fair, I was totally ready to look past his looks. Like, our sex life was amazing. Maybe not at first sight, but like I totally.
So she's like, he's not attractive.
I love how she's like she's talking around being like, he's fucking ugly, y'all. I don't know how I did it. Well,
Yeah.
she does say their sex life was amazing. I'm like, good for you.
This is crazy.
I found him so sexy, and I would die on that hill.
yeah.
But I'm getting off topic. The point is, my friends thought he was super creepy and weird, and so did my mom. But I had to be like, no, my mom loved you. You did such a good job. Because otherwise, he did barely even want to hang out with my friends or my mom to begin with. So how would I ever get him to hang out with them again and get them to get to know each other if I gave him bad feedback? Because he'd respond to that so poorly. So I had to start, and this is a major mistake I made. I thought that I was strong enough, smart enough, like resilient enough that I could keep my own internal sense of reality while outwardly with my words saying something else. I thought that I could shift. I thought I could fix these problems by staying silent about them in order to keep him happy. I thought if he were happy, as long as he's happy, he'll continue to change. If he continues to change, eventually we'll get to a place that finally makes me happier. What I did not anticipate, and what you must learn from me, is that I think I have one of the strongest, I'm myself in spite of myself. I go into situations and I think to myself, Caroline, it would be so much better if you could just behave this way for this night. And I still can't do it because I just ooze Caroline Callowness. And I love this about myself. It's also a curse, but it is for the most part a blessing. And I thought, my God, if anyone can handle like keeping an interior world in focus, it's me. I've been training my entire life for this. Like I know exactly who I am. I know what I feel. Like I have such a strong sense of self enough. And the metric of whether with each social outing, which again, always with his friends, only once ever with mine. And even then I had to bring them. Actually, no, there was twice. He left the house once for my friends in 8 months. And then the only other time I got to see them with him was when I brought them to his house. But in general, I was like, yeah, only with his friends. And then afterwards, whether or not he would be icy and surly and brusque with me, or whether he'd be jolly and give me cuddles and praise, is basically like how often I spoke. Like it was a word count issue. Like the less I said out loud, the happier he'd be when they left. And he would have a different read on this. I think he would say, oh, you were being such a good listener. It's so important for you to learn how to listen. And he'd have this impression of me when I wasn't being, like that would be him praising me. And then if I talked a lot, God forbid, laughed at something too much or got excited about something.
It sounds like her cat is in the background making her drinks.
Like, oh my God, she has a bartender cat?
Yeah, like a bunch of ice cubes. It sounds like keep going into glasses.
No, yeah, it sounds like he's stirring in the gin, making a really complicated drink for his mistress, who is both like, laying it all out there emotionally. She's going to need a nice big G&T.
Yeah, exactly.
What a good kitty.
It is hard for me to get on board with why she was ever with this guy. He sounds like he sucks.
Yeah, you know what? Here's one thing I was thinking. Tell me if your take on it. But I feel like guys like this, who like he obviously, as she says, he has this vision of himself as like rough around the edges. And like I can totally get like being in Connecticut, being working class, but then being around all these rich people and having to like somehow like figure out a way to like navigate your way through these different classes and finally just being like, fuck it. I'm going to say whatever I want. But at the end of the day, guys like this, they date her because they're like, oh, she's crazy. And, she's different than any other girl I've ever dated before. And after that initial sort of fascination kind of wears off, then they want you to be what they need you to be as the relationship goes forward into marriage. And like,
yeah,
it's a tale as old as time. And to hear her experience it is heartbreaking. Like, because I'm just like, I like, part of it is like, you did make a choice, but I think she knows that now, that it was destined never to work because of the dynamic set up between them financially from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Sorry I'm talking so much. I'm just like, I actually really like her. No, I do. I feel like, okay, she was a monster and a mess beforehand, but I'm like, oh, she's a human being who seems to, like, she's still Caroline Calloway, don't get me wrong, but seems like a human being who, like, has moved and developed in many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to know what the listeners think, whether or not she's just like continuing to manipulate us and I am, a sucker for a pretty face, which I am. But tell me what you think.
But I am like, okay, I think I get it.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty clear at this point, like what the trajectory is here.
yeah. And here, let's go to her snark.
Let's go to her snark page. Yeah.
So she made this post because she and Whoa Vicky did a poetry reading last night.
Whoa, Vicky doing a poetry reading. Holy fuck. That's insanity.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it.
I saw Whoa Vicky just go on stage while Caroline was up there just to take selfies with her.
Uh-huh.
And Caroline didn't seem to acknowledge knowing anything about Whoa Vicky. And then I think Whoa Vicky was gonna read poetry too. And it was actually so boring. And now I guess she's on her Instagram story saying, "Gonna be so fucking real with you, I did not enjoy being on stage with a girl with 4 times as many followers as I have while she scrolled on her phone behind me."
Fair, Caroline, fair. Whoa, Vicky, and she can barely speak. I mean, I can't imagine her reading poetry.
This is my Michael Jackson poem. Michael Jackson would have slid in my DMs. What y'all think? Yeah. I can resonate with Michael Jackson. He liked to be around kids, not in the pedophile way. And animals. Same with autism. That's why I love autistic kids. Yes. Just love. That's why God says something very good about the kids. Up next is legends. Michael Jackson is gone. Prince is gone. Madonna is still here. Lil Tay is gone. Bad Baby is gone. Whoa, Vicky. Thank you. Thanks, God.
What? Did she write it? What the fuck?
Anyways, Whoa Vicky, I love you.
I give her points for honesty,
Yeah. Oh, this is the clip. So someone clipped it. And this is what I was watching too. It's just very strange. See, Caroline's out there I thought it was my turn. And then Whoa Vicky's yeah, I just came up to take a picture with you.
Okay, yeah.
And that's all they do. And yeah, it's really strange. And Caroline still just puts flowers in her hair.
Yeah, I mean, that's her brand or her thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, Whoa Vicky just basically crashed a poetry reading directly on stage to take a selfie with Caroline Calloway. This is, God, the world is spinning out of control.
And I think she is just going to do hers again later. But see, she was like, "Caroline, turn around."
Yeah.
Turn around. We need to take another picture.
She's like, "I have more followers than you. Do what I say."
Yeah. And then Caroline's like, "Anyways, it's my turn."
That was insane. She has an audience in front of her.
Quick.
Well, who knows who they're there to
I need
see?
you guys to lock in and focus, because this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Okay, so whenever I do talks at colleges, which is rare, what college literally wants me, but whenever I do talks at colleges, I always start by saying, "Thank you so much for being here, because I myself would not have attended this event." And I don't mean that for tonight. I don't mean that for tonight at all. I would have been.
I just skipped forward because now it's Whoa Vicky is just setting herself up on stage.
Yeah.
Real translations. This is not a bit. This is correct Latin. Let's begin.
What is going on? And then Caroline is apparently translating Latin poems. That's what she's doing.
Oh my! I mean, is this New York City?
Yeah.
It's very New York City, I will say that, where she's translating Latin poems for what looks to be a wealthy audience in a tiny, tiny storefront space. And just Whoa Vicky's behind me, whispering.
Yeah. I think Whoa Vicky might have been the host of this, so maybe she does have to just bow down to her.
Like,
or
maybe?
something.
Like, what is Woe Vicky doing here? I think that's the question.
Who are they to say that my love isn't good enough for me? That's one. A lot is going to happen very fast. Woo.
Okay. I need your take on this. Is Woe Vicky, like, because she's kind of looking down, and one part of me is like, oh, she's following along, diligently with the poem as Caroline recites it. And she seems to be, like, engaged, but then also she's kind of like, if she's not looking down at, like, the poem itself, she keeps on checking herself in the camera to be like, am I still serving? Yes, all right. But I don't know, what is she doing?
I think she's looking down at the live stream, so she's looking at herself. And that when she
that
turns
makes
around,
so much more
she's
sense.
like, I'm looking at the audience that's
Yeah.
watching this. And she engages when Caroline says anything that sounds kind of biblical. Like she said, I have sinned. And Woe Vicky was like, woo!
No, and then at one point, Woe Vicky did start being like, when she was talking about, I don't know, something womany. Woe Vicky did start like sort of like nodding along, like she was, amen, girl. But otherwise, I'm like, what are you doing, Woe?
I don't know. This is so weird.
This is bizarre. Guys, you gotta watch this. It's what's it called? Caro at Woe Vicky poetry reading. It's just like, it's so strange.
There's a link to this 5-hour live stream that Woe Vicky put up because she and Clavicular both do these like kick live streams.
Yeah.
Where they're live for hours.
Oh my God.
So yeah, you can watch this for 5 hours if you want. And she doesn't do anything. She never does anything.
Nobody on live ever does anything.
Yeah.
Except for us. It's just like, this is so incredibly bizarre. And then, like, her and Clavicular are a perfect match of mental nothingness. So great. Find each other. I love it.
Yeah, but she can't stand him because he seems demonic.
Oh, right. And he's too pretty. So she feels like the man in the
He's
relationship
gay.
is
Yeah. Also, if you have too much sex, you will become gay. So
Is that what that's one of her theories?
yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Totally. Yep. She is on the vanguard. She knows things that we do not. That's all. So we're still on the snark board and we're sort of like scrolling through it. Caroline Calloway in a bikini.
Yeah, so here she is texting someone saying, why did you sign me up for that? Being on stage with an internet girly who had twice as many followers and is completely uninterested in what I have to say and is scrolling through her phone is my worst nightmare.
Yes!
Mitchell, why did you do this to me? And then he says, Caroline, this is a misunderstanding. She wanted to come out because you were the one she wanted to meet. I was trying to take her phone.
Good fucking luck.
And then, so Caroline's posting this on her story and then making it into a joke about how she almost did a diss track with Woe Vicky, but it sounds like she would be dissing Woe Vicky.
Yeah, like between them, I guess it would be a thing.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
here's the thing. We heard her talk about her financial issues. So I kind of think she's leaning back into being online all the time. And like here she is saying that she needs to ship out her books by July 31st. That's the goal I made with my ex, and now it's a promise I must keep to myself, question mark?
Yeah.
Next slide.
She was really hoping this guy would help her get her shit together. And I'm like, girl, you just need, you need a
But see,
business
look,
manager. Yeah.
She lost her state-issued ID. She's completely fucking fucked. I was literally Googling 26-hour-long Amtrak train trips when it occurred to me to check if global ID was valid for domestic flights.
I am identifying with her so hard right now because she's just so like ADHD and messy. I do this shit all the time. You know it. I lose things, in 2 seconds. Yeah, this is so amazing.
And then she's out she does this a lot now where she shows off her outfit and she's like,
Which
today
okay.
I'm wearing an outfit that my ex would have hated.
Yeah, because it looks like shit.
And then people are like, hey, well, I'm glad she's having fun again. And it's always interesting to see her face with less editing. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and it also says, I'm getting tired of all the face shaming comments. I'm like, Caroline is very pretty.
I think because her lips have gotten significantly bigger.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then apparently she's done a lot of face editing.
Oh, I see. So we don't know if what we're seeing is what we're seeing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then I saw this where it said Hollywood agencies are scouring Reddit for short stories that could be turned into movies following the success of Backrooms. I forgot I was going to tell you about how I went to see that movie, and it was very strange.
Oh, wow. Because I've heard of it.
It's very, very, very strange.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't made like some no sleep stories, like the famous ones, into like movies yet, because they're fucking terrifying.
Well, I guess now they have, that's the thing. Now they have this idea because if this was successful and then other stuff on Reddit must be successful, it's just like the influencer thing, you know? So Hollywood is like, I know, let's go make other stuff that's already popular into content. You know?
Yeah. Which is, it's, I don't know. I have a lot to say about it, but it's not for here. So can I ask you a question, though, as we scroll through her snark board here? Like, you've looked through it, I presume?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the general, because, you know, we've talked about this in the past, like what snark boards are kind of like, they all have their own sort of like internal rules emotionally. Like, what's the deal with her? Because it seems to me some people are like, I'm trying to be nice to her. I want to, you know, encourage her when she's doing the right thing. So they're not completely like just, you know, slam her all the time sort of thing.
I don't know. There's just so much going on with her.
Yeah.
I think they were happy when she made this TikTok series where she was kind of honest about her breakup.
Yeah.
And then someone said, this is the example she shows to try and make her ex look foolish for discouraging her art. I guess, see, they are still snarking. They're like, yeah, this is a dumb painting she made.
Yeah.
And then they're comparing it. Do you know what this is?
That's from Napoleon Dynamite, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's that famous picture of Trisha and Napoleon Dynamite, which is insane.
Where he's like,
yeah.
Took me a half an hour to finish the shading on your upper lip.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's funny. So she comes on all the time. She takes these selfies. I would do a poll asking if you think I could change, but I fear I must just keep believing in myself and keep it moving.
Do you think this image is face edited?
No.
She looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, I don't have enough money for my rent. And I bought this stupid shirt for $80 last night when I was high on psychedelics. It's the single worst financial decision I've made since moving back here, and I can never take it off.
If you told me today that I would see myself in Caroline Calloway, I would have laughed you off of Riverside. But here we are.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly something I would too. Except I would be smart enough not to have a $6,000 rent. That's fucking insane.
Well,
if you,
I'm
don't
how
have
did
health
you
insurance.
get someone to sign an apartment to you?
Yeah, I mean, she's got lots of rich friends, I have no doubt.
But, you know, if you try to get into an apartment in New York City, they make sure you have enough money coming in.
Well, I'm sure she had like her parents co-signed or the boyfriend co-signed.
Huh.
Yeah.
They were saying earlier that she's legitimately dangerous and not in a funny way.
No, she's not. These snark boards, they just pick somebody and they just, I don't know what they're doing, but I need more evidence that she is a potential mass murderess. Because I'm not getting it from this. It's just pictures of her on Instagram being her.
They said something recently about her hiring TaskRabbit people to help her move in and just like lying down or something while her mom handled it.
Sounds like the Caroline we all know and now love, kind of. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, at least she
Okay.
hired people. She didn't get a bunch of friends to do it and then just like lay on the floor all day. Could you imagine like getting all your like I'll get you pizza, and it's like, you know, everybody's gonna get together and move, and you're literally just like in bed as they move your bed into the truck.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, see, with this stuff about her breakup, they have a lot of stuff to say.
yeah, I
About
mean,
it.
I guess I kind of get it. She is like she's ridiculous, and there's definitely like
Yeah.
a certain
And
sex.
you see
Yeah.
yourself in her.
I do, and I also I think she's like at this point harmless. Like, you know, I don't see like a potentially like, you know, malignant narcissist coming out of here. No matter what I said beforehand, she's definitely like problematic when she was younger, but you know, she seems to have like she has self-awareness. She seems to have grown.
Yeah, and I'd say don't buy anything from her.
No, no. She
You're
would
never
say
gonna
that.
get it.
She would be like, yeah, I'm gonna write it. Don't buy it because it'll never happen. But I'm writing a book. You should buy it. That's- What a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if her fans are mostly girls or boys. Because when she got kind of successful on OnlyFans,
Yeah.
I was like, maybe she has a bigger male following than I knew. You know? Maybe I didn't realize that men were like finding her and following her.
No, I don't think. We would have to like look into like, okay, how did she do like the OF breadcrumb trail that people do to get
Yeah.
to their OF?
She put a picture of her tits on Twitter.
Well, bing bang boom, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Good for her.
She had another post the other day where she was like, I finally kissed somebody new. And I'm like, I just think she's good at finding guys, you know?
Oh, I don't see why not. Like
Yeah,
she's
I guess
engaging
I'm
and
like,
very, very pretty. You know,
and she's
That's
a manic
for what it's
pixie
worth.
dream girl.
She is a manic pixie dream girl, and she's like, you know, she's smart. She's a really good conversationalist. She's got like on the surface until you find out what like lies underneath. She's the whole package. She really is. Yeah. Do you not think so? I mean, I'm also gay. I don't know what straight men want, but I would think like she'd be great.
I think it's like, it sounds to me like that guy liked her as arm candy and then didn't want her to have a personality. And she does have a personality.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
she wants
And a
to be
messy one.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when she's on stage, she like thinks that people are gonna laugh at the things that she says, but she isn't really there to do comedy. I don't know.
She has a very like at this point in her life, she seems to have like a very self-deprecating kind of wit, which I can imagine like if she's gonna be in this culture where it's like women should like stay silent, like she would be considered like loud and too boisterous if she's gonna like make fun of herself the way she does. Because that's the funniest thing
Yeah.
about her. She's just like, she's very much like, yeah, I'm a fuck up, and I'll tell you all the ways in which that's true.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. You can't say she doesn't realize that or, you know. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, don't buy anything from her. The
Yeah.
posts in that sub used to always be like, well, I decided I'd order a piece of her art and it's never come. Yeah, of course not.
I mean, that is actually where I have an issue with her, because it's like, Caroline, if you're not gonna fucking send it, don't sell it. Like that's
But then
bad.
I'm like, okay, I was like, she needs a business manager. Do we want to say that we would help her? No. She's probably
No.
terrible to work for.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I would love to go out with her. I would love to go out with her, have a few drinks, maybe dance, you know, just like hit the town. She's that kind of girl. I do not want to get into business with her, ever.
Or do anything where you have to rely on her, really.
Oh, yeah. She's like that friend you call, like, hey, girl, let's go out right now. And she'll be like, sure. And she's just like spontaneous and fun. But yeah, do not
That's
expect
it.
anything more. Okay, so I'm expressing here how much like I like her in spite of myself. Is Caroline Calloway a girl that you would like hang out with?
I don't think so.
Okay, why not? And I'm not like being that way about it. I'm just curious.
I don't know. I think she's kind of a mess, and she does the same shit over and over again, expecting
Yeah.
different results.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And you know that's my catnip. So,
There
yeah.
you go. So now we realize this is Nathan's kind of girl. And
Absolutely. I love a messy
she would
lady.
just piss me off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, she would piss me off like 8 months down the line, but
You and her boyfriend.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
how long it
yeah.
lasted. Yeah.
Caroline Calloway, call me. Anyway, we can date for 8 months and you'll have another story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I feel like I talked a whole lot, but I didn't know she was going to affect me like this.
I got like kind of burned out on Caroline Calloway a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So then it becomes like I don't know if I really have much to say about those people. I don't know.
Thank you. I'm just like, it's nice to see that she's changed because like back in the day, she was just like a villain,
You think she's changed?
I mean, she's matured. I don't know if she's
Okay.
like changed, but she
Yeah.
knows herself better. I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I have.
That's all I have too. Caroline, if you're listening, DM us. I'll give you my phone number.
Okay.
Online BS Pod, Instagram.
Online bullshit pod.
Online Bullshit Pod, sorry. I always get them confused.
Yeah. Sorry, nothing's the same over different platforms.
Yeah.
It's different everywhere. So go into our show notes to find the links to our social medias and come join us on Patreon where we're talking about cereal.
Yes. And we're going to have a really fun guest soon.
Scrolling through my feed, all I see is bullshit, fake news, clickbait. Gotta sift through all of it. And share, retweet, trying to keep up with the trends, but it's all just a facade, man. It's all pretend. Online bullshit, that's all it is. You say you're living large, but I know it's just a myth. Online bullshit, can't you see? We're all caught up in the nonsense. It's time to break free. Scrolling through my feed, all I see is bullshit, fake news, clickbait. Gotta sift through all of it. Like, share, retweet, trying to keep up with the trends, but it's all just a facade, man. It's all pretend.